Hello and good afternoon and welcome to yet another round robin stream from the spring season tournament, the professionals tournament in the spring season tournament. There are way too many names for this tournament, but basically it's like the other Twister Cup that doesn't happen in October but happens in the spring. So I'm basically just biding my time a little bit before we get the room invite, which will be in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna take away the preview and you can see the lineup that we have currently. Well, not necessarily the lineup, but the points schedule that we have right now. And as you can see, TBT has so far won all the matches. TNNM are also good on track with 4 points, same as 101st AD. And then we have 5 teams that will all be competing for that 4th place. Of course, anything can happen, but the only team that is pretty much certain to go to the finals is TBT. And of course they could potentially throw it and lose all matches in a row now. But yeah, there's not much chance of them actually doing that, so let's count on the fact that they will continue to pwn like this. And that means that we have the top 3 are doing pretty well. The lower 5 will have to compete for the 4th place, and that will make tonight pretty much interesting. Because tonight we will be watching Feast take on ID and take on Noob. And that means that those points are pretty much vital. These are all tiebreaker matches when the 5 lowest teams here will meet each other. Those are tiebreakers and those will probably decide who gets to go to the 4th place. Of course, we still have 8 matches left to go. First is the last match of the first round robin. And after that we get the start of the 2nd round robin. But then we have a pretty good idea of a score already. And like I said, TBT is almost certain to go through. And there has to be some really strange things happening if that were not to happen. So that's basically the lineup. Tonight we're going to start with Feast versus ID. And after that we have, for the first part of the 2nd round, we have Feast versus Noob. We've seen them fight before and it was quite epic, so I'm looking forward to this match. Also looking forward to seeing ID in action. I have to say they have not been performing as well as I would have expected from a team that has been consistently in the top of the Asia server, but they lost quite a few matches and that was quite surprising. And to be honest, up to a level, same with Feast. Feast was going to the offline last Twister, and they've also had some hang-ups this time around, so it will be interesting to see what goes on now and if this will change and how it will change. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to these matches and to this lineup. It's gonna be fun. So tonight we have, like I said, ID, and then we go to Dynasty's Pearl, Main, Ruins and Middleburg, followed by Noob on Rockfield, Canyon and Canal. I will take you through these maps in a little bit. I'm just waiting for YouTube to catch up with the fact that I am streaming. But there is a 5-minute delay on the stream so that no one can stream snipe. And that means that 5 minutes after I start the whole stream process, I have to go to YouTube and I have to activate it manually. Because, yeah, it doesn't always make it easy. I don't mind it. It's just something that I have to keep in mind. Because otherwise, if I don't activate the stream on YouTube, basically nothing will happen. And that is quite useless. But we are officially live on YouTube now, and in about a few seconds the stream will start there as well. And you will hear all my talking about this in 5 minutes because of that delay. But hey ho, that's just how it goes. And in a few minutes we will also have the room invite, and then we get to see some matches in 7 minutes. So what we're now waiting for is YouTube to stop bugging. And then I can take you over the maps. Now, if you want to get coins, you need to go to the portal, watch through there, and make sure that you're logged in while you do so. It is overall, you can get some coins, and with the coins you can get crates, and with the crates you can get freebies. It's not all that much, but it's not bad, because it's freebies, and freebies are always fun to have. So I'm gonna take you out of this now, and we're gonna wait for the invite, which should come in about a minute. We have a free container, more freebies, and we get boopsters. Not that I play on this account, but it's always funny for me at least to see what I get from the crates that I get on this account. And yeah, I hate crates, especially when you pay money for them. But I generally like the whole idea of just getting some free stuff in the game. I like that Wargaming does this because they didn't really have to do that. But they have gone, well, I wouldn't say out of their way, but they have arranged this for us, where we get small crates and somewhat bigger crates and giant crates for free. Okay, so we have the team, we have the room ready, and I'm gonna take you to the maps that we will be on. We start with Dynasty's Pearl. We have base A, B, and C. Base B, incredibly hard to get, but once you get it, it will be incredibly hard to get stolen from you. Then we have base A, which is basically on the heavy side, and base C, that is on the med side. My personal preference is always around base C, unless I drive a super heavy. And that has everything to do with the positioning around there. There's a lot of little hills and peekaboom spots and all of that, and I quite like that. That fits my playstyle so much better than a general heavy tactic. But all bases are fairly open from multiple lines of fire, so it is not easy to cap these bases. So after Dynasty's Pearl, we're gonna get, let me check my cheat sheet for that, Mayan Ruins. And Mayan Ruins looks something like this. And you have base A, which is the heavy base, base C, that is the med base, and base B, that is the anyone that wants to probably die can go there. There are a few ways to cap it, and if you get an early cap, you have more of a chance to actually succeed in capping it. But it is not an easy base to take, and pretty much all these bases are also open to lines of fire. You can shoot base C from a position between B and C, and from those going up the ramp, of course. You have base A, that is in line of fire from both spawns, so a lot of campers can get shots in there. And yeah, like I said, base B is pretty much fairly open and very hard to cap, because even if you drive a heavily armored tank, the likeliness of getting HE'd and then losing the capping is quite high. Now, after that, if we get a third map, we will go to Middelburg. Middelburg has the med base at C. We have two bases in town that are basically the heavy bases, and I've seen a lot of teams go up the hill. I've seen a lot of teams stay in the city. It is definitely an interesting map. In randoms, I always prefer to go hill if I have a fast tank, and I stay down below if I have a heavy or a slow tank. And I like taking one of the city bases and then just pushing for the other, because in this case, while it is hard to take the hill, it is also relatively hard to take the city because of all the buildings and all the positions. It is hard to make that rush. So I'm gonna take away the map so that there's nothing in this stream that will block your view, basically. And we're gonna go look at the lineup that we have so far. We have Feast that is currently sporting 3 IS-4s, an IS-7, an E100, and Mouse, and another E100. That is quite some heavy lineup, and I'm not really too surprised on this map because Dynasty's Pearl is very small. That means that you can get around with heavies, and it is also a good side-scraping map, so that is interesting. But look at the tanks that ID is taking. That is some super heavy stuff going on there. And so far, well, they are still changing around, but they are looking to take several IS-4s and quite a few mice and an E3, and for speed, a Chieftain MK6 and a 113. And those are still, they're not meds, but they're relatively fast heavies. They're heaviums, in my opinion. So in just over a minute, we will be going into the battle. We will be seeing what they do. We will start this tiebreaker, and I'm very curious to see how that will go. Dynasty's Pearl is not my favorite map. It is a fun map, but it's because it's so small, I dislike it. I like the bigger maps like Canal. Canal I love. So now ID has finished with their lineup, taking 2 mice, 2 IS-4s, a Chieftain MK6, a 113, and an E3. So that's quite a bit of armor. And I think that we will be seeing some action around base A and base B mostly, but at the same time, this is team play. We have teams that are coordinating, that are on voice together generally, and that will have tactics and positions and everything worked out. So even if I think that with this lineup you should go generally base something or something, they could do something completely different because of the fact that they are a team. So that's what I always like about these competitive games. You just never know what's in store for you. So now we are 12 seconds to go. And then we get to go into the battle. And here we go. Lots of pros, 1 Aussie and 1 snowflake. Okay, that sounded wrong. But you know what I mean. And Maddox knows I like him anyway. So let's go up and away and see what everyone will be doing. We have Feast focusing mainly on base C side. See, this is what I meant. They're doing completely the opposite of what I would expect with this lineup. And we have ID going C side as well with the full team. Feast is spreading up a little bit here. And we have the mouse that is heading towards base B. We see the first spots going on, first shots being fired, a lovely 2 HP damage being done here. Some more shots being fired, but not much happening yet. The mice have been spotted. The E100s might be in a little bit of trouble now, because they are not quite as armored as the mice. We have Feast making a push. They are just going all in, expecting the mice to be late. And they just want them out of the way. This is basically a brawl. The chieftain is being focused. He's dead now. And that's a good call because the chieftain has the least amount of armor of these tanks. Then you have the 113, but he's wisely pulling back. But there goes the IS-4. Now we have the E100 going after the 113 together with the IS-4. And so far ID has lost 3 tanks now. And Feast has lost 1. Now they have to deal with the mice, but the 113 is not far behind. They are being a little bit pincered now. No idea where that shot went on the E100. But we see some lovely focus fire going on here. The mouse blocking the mouse. There goes the 113. And ID now only has 3 guys left, one of which is a low HP mouse. And even though he's not being focused at all that much, he is gonna die, and he just did. Feast in the meantime lost Frost, but it's now 5 versus 2. 4 versus 2. And this is very unlikely to go in anyone but Feast favor. We have the E100 and the mouse kind of blocking each other right here. On the other hand, we have basically a sandwich going on. And the IS-4 is almost dead, and he's very little chance, basically. No base has been capped. We are less than 3 minutes into the game. And it is fairly certain, well, very certain I should say, that Feast will have this match. I like this blocking move that the mouse did. Magician just pulled up a great move there. From the very beginning, saving his teammate by just blocking him. And even though the 100 just died, this was like an epic ending with a ram on a mouse. Are you kidding me? But victory was certain, so I understand why you would do that. I'm not accepting any friend requests on this account, by the way. I don't play on this account. I really just have this for stream purposes and of course forum purposes. That ending though. And into, well, 1.5 minutes we get to go into the second match. We have Feast sporting 3 IS-4s, 2 mice this time in E3 and an object 140. And we see that ID is gonna go for a bit more armor, and they're taking 3 mice potentially. They still have a minute to ready up, so they have a little bit of time to get ready. And it will just be fun to see what they do. I like these kind of games. And just that ending with the ram on the mouse, oh god. That is just fun. So we just wait, we have 1 minute left to go. We have ID with an, well, E3, IS-4, 2 113s and 3 mice. So that is a lot of heavy armor to take into the match. And we'll see how it goes. It's generally quite hard to fight on small maps, I think, because if you, like you saw, the main reason that ID lost is because those 2 mice took too long to get somewhere, and then it doesn't really work out for them, and it just cost them way too much time to get behind them. And even though if it was played very strategically, it could have really gone in their favor, but Feast just went like full on brawl. They just went for it and focus fired and everything. And I like that. I like that you can have games with tactics and without tactics. I prefer the tactical games, to be honest. And that has everything to do with the fact that it's just so pretty to look at it and to see what they will do and what tactics they use and everything. And that is something that I quite miss in a brawl battle. But at the same time, it is quite funny. So let's see what they do now. Here we go. Up, up and away. And we have Feast now going towards the city more. With the object 140 going towards C. We have ID focusing primarily on C again. And I think that if Feast plays this right, they will have some cheeky early caps now. And object 140 has been spotted, but he has not spotted anyone just yet. And we have Feast taking strategic positions around base A. And the object 140 is already gone, but I think they already deduced that ID will be there on the other side. So now they are taking base A, and that means that ID should take base C. I think they might go for a cheeky try to cap base B, but they have a mouse and an E3 there. But if they cap with enough tanks, it will be hard for them to decap that base, and the E3 is already losing HP. But Feast is losing quite a bit, ID is losing quite a bit more. We have the IS-4 in their flanks as they pull back. And both teams have a base, but Feast has a slight point advantage. But the IS-4 there has to be careful because he's basically on his own. We have the mouse that is holding in the middle, probably to make sure that Feast does not cap base B. And we now have the E3 going after the IS-4. Which is very precarious position to be in, because now he's also alone. We see some more shots going on in the middle. And the mouse is taking a front position against the E3. Angling. We have the IS-4 behind there. I like how Feast uses their mice. They are working together. They are trying to make sure that they support each other. We have now a mouse that is going to aid the E3. And that was a nice bounce on the cupola of the E3. And now the mouse will probably sustain some damage. There he goes. And we have another mouse arriving, this time from ID. And the 113 is arriving as well. Feast might be in a little bit of problem here. And we see on the other side, Feast is basically holding in the middle. They are now pushing through the middle. I'm going to widen the angle a little bit so that we can see they want that 113 out of the way. But it is costing them quite dearly to do that. There he goes. First gun from ID gone. But look at this lineup, the way that they are holding. They are managing it, but they are losing a lot of HP doing so. The 113 is almost dead. There he goes. Second gun gone. Third gun gone. And now the mouse is left here, and he is surrounded by 5 Feast players. We have mouse versus mouse in the middle. The E3 is steadily coming. And he is going to get a nice shot into the mouse there. That was a lot of HP being lost. We now have the mouse being alpha being abandoned, but he has help from the E3, so that shouldn't last all that long. And it's a mouse, so it can bounce, and there goes the mouse. And now we have 3 tanks left, while Feast has 5 left. We have an IS-4 that now has his bum towards an E3, not anymore, but the mouse dies. And ooh, that didn't go as planned, I think. But it's 4 versus 2, and this is unlikely to go into anyone but Feast's favor, and that means that this last mouse does not have much of a chance. Magician pulling a lovely blocking move again, while the mouse loses a lot of HP. And we saw another ram. This is something I cannot really advise you to do though. Even though you are very unlikely to lose this is a mouse you are ramming. And there we go, mouse can get another shot in. Nice bounce by Magician. And there goes the mouse. And the second game is Feast. And this was, I wouldn't say it was really close, but it could have gone either way. And again, Feast with a pretty excellent push there. I quite like that. So now we have 1.5 minutes left to go, and we go to Mayan Ruins. And I like Mayan Ruins. I like it mostly because you always see teams doing exactly the opposite of what I would expect them to do. And that is just quite funny, in my opinion. And it makes for interesting commentary, because you see people do things that you are not really expecting them to do. We have the team lineup ready on Feast side with 3 IS4s, 2 mice, a Batchat and an E3. And on the other hand, we have 3 IS4s, a mouse, a T62A, an E3, and potentially another IS4. This is a very similar lineup. 1 fast tanks, lots of armor, and lots of IS4s. So now we just have to wait 1 minute before we go into the battle, and now the pressure is definitely on ID, because they have to win every single match now if they want this point, whereas Feast only has to win once in 3 games. So that is something that will be breathing down their neck. I don't think they will like that. But it does give Feast a somewhat easier position that way, because they just have more freedom that way. We see ID now almost completely unreadying. I think they changed their tactic. I think they're gonna change what they drive. We see IS7s being brought out now. And they have 19 seconds left. This is not something you want to do. Okay, so we have a mouse, 2 IS7s, 3 IS4s, and a T62A. So that is now a very different lineup. And I wonder what made them decide to do that at the last split second. And here we go. Again, pressure is definitely on ID to win this one. And up and away. We have Feast focusing mainly on the middle and the little bit at A. I'm not sure exactly where they will go that, but we have ID doing pretty much the same thing. Batchat now pulling back, going with the heavies. I think they're abandoning both B and C and want to get a cheeky cap at base A. This is something that I like to do. Just drive on in. You can use the walls on the other side where he is now as cover, and basically you get a free cap that way. And this is a very clever move. They know that he won't be alone there. And we see some first shots going on. No idea how the Tracer stopped at the rock when it was a shot taken by Maddox, but okay. And now the Batchat, the only thing the Batchat has now as a problem is that he's unlikely to get out unscathed. There he goes, losing more than 1k HP just to get out. And we have ID now pushing. We have the mice arriving behind. And basically the IS4s here are in a lot of trouble. And those mice will have to work hard. We see massive shot going into the IS4 here. But this is basically their bleeding HP. We have the Batchat that is moving in. Maddox holding that IS4. And there he goes. First IS4 is gone. And this is... Frost is gone as well. And people are dying. And now we have another IS4 being focused. They are pretty much leaving the mouse a little as is. And I think that is a good call. The E3 is getting shot from behind. But they don't really care. Mouse is now low HP. And they are waiting. There he goes. And now ID has lost 2 guns. Feast has lost 1. And we see more focus fire going on. There goes the E3. Now Feast has actually lost 3 tanks. And this is tricky for them. They will need to take out that IS7. The mouse is blocking his own teammate a little bit there. We have the T62A killing off the Batchat. And there goes the IS7. And now we have a mouse versus 2 IS4s and a T62A. Maddox getting shot in the rear. But they have to focus fire. They have to take the T62 out. And that will be difficult, especially when Maddox misses. And that is a very crucial shot to miss. There goes Maddox. There goes the T62A. We have 2 mice left. But they're against the full HP IS4. And a pretty good health IS7. And 1 more IS4. So it will be very difficult for them to save each other out of this one. There he goes. Now it's just Magician. He can maybe work magic, but we're not quite sure. And this game is very likely to go into IDs. And I think the fact that the Batchat lost so much HP just getting out of there is what probably cost them the game here. There he goes. And this game is for ID. And look at the damage done by I am AFK. He was definitely not AFK this battle. So now we got the fourth match. We have Feast completely readied up with 4 eyes, 4 in E3, 1 mouse this time and a bad chat. I think they realized that that mouse took too long to get anywhere. And that probably cost them quite dearly. And on the other side we have ID still thinking about what to drive, but we see 1 mouse and 1 IS7 readied up. And those IS7s did quite well, I think. Not as well as the IS4s, because there's a definite IS4 gluttony, and that is for a specific reason. Namely the fact that they just want... that they just perform really well in these games. So we now have 2 IS7s, a mouse and IS4, a T6, 2 T62 Ace, and potentially another IS4 because he did so well in it the last battle. And we have less than 1 minute left. Okay, now we have the definite lineups, and they are as I just read. I like that this map definitely supports mice, but if you have a flanking move with a mouse, that is a little bit difficult. Also, can I just point out that AMX-30B is driving the wrong tank. He's not driving the 30B. He's now driving an SCB-1. And that's a very tricky tank on this map. I don't think it performs all that well unless you focus on the medium side. It is not really a brawling tank. And as we can see in these last few games, brawling is something that they are doing today. So we have 13 seconds left to go before we go into the battle. And then we get to see what happens again. Pressure is still on ID. They have to win every single game now to get a point. And Feast still has 2 games to get 1 win. And you didn't see that, but just before we entered the battle here, Maddox said in the chat, here goes nothing. For you, this happened at random. For me, this happened at the start of the battle. So let's go. Up, up and away. And we see ID focusing mainly on... Oh, they're going towards base B, not so much towards base A, but they seem a bit uncoordinated about it. We have the Batchat that is spotting in the middle. He's waiting for that STB and the T62A. He has spotted them both now, so he knows where they are. He is losing a bit of HP getting out of there, but the IS-7 and the IS-4s are coming together with the 215B. We have Feast taking defensive positions on the other side. We have ID capping a base. We have the Batchat probably gonna cap base A now, I suspect. We have the E3 and the mouse moving into the middle. We see some fires going on, but not all that much. And there goes Frost with a little bit of HP, but basically they're in good holding positions. Only Feast has the opportunity to get to bases here. And we have a lone mouse here. Feast is now capping base A. And they will have that base soon, but they could potentially cap base B as well, especially when they know that everyone is there. Lots of HP being lost. We have the 2 Mets that are now flanking behind, and that means that E3 could be in trouble, especially Sleeping Lion here, as he pulls back and right into the line of fire from the Mets. Mouse versus mouse with an IS-4 and an and a Batchat right behind. That mouse is not going to live for long. The 215B lost a lot of HP, but Sleeping Lion is now dead. And the mouse has 5 HP left, so that's not going to last long either. There he goes. E3 losing a lot of HP trying to get that shot. Batchat moving around. He is going to go after that STB, I imagine. He really has no choice. He just reloaded his clip. He can potentially get some damage in, but ooh, that he is losing some HP as well. Frost is almost dead. We have the 215B. That is getting shot quite badly. But Feast has now lost 2 guns. 3 guns. But ID has lost 2. And we have the Batchat that is coming up behind, and I think they are pretty good at focus firing now. They just need to kill this IS-4. The mouse is in a bit of trouble here. That FV needs to die. He is fully loaded with a clip now, but he has to be careful because the FV can one-shot him. ID just lost the tank. We have the T62A that is coming up to help his friend, because the Batchat is very low on health as well. and they need to make these kills. It's now 4 versus 2, and the Badger is very low HP. Only Maddox has any proper HP left to go, and there goes the Badger. Maddox is now the only one left. He does make a kill now, but now he is 1 versus 3 epic Kolobanov situation. But this is not likely to go well in Maddox's favor because of the fact that simply he does not have the HP to deal with 3 people that are working together. He can go after the STB, but it will not make all that much difference. He is losing so much HP doing this. Not that he has a choice. There he goes though. And the second game, this game is for ID as well. And now we get a tiebreaker for the tiebreaker. So that is definitely something. ID basically regrouped and got back on their feet. Nicely done here. I'm not sure exactly where this match went wrong, to be honest. Because this was very tricky all around. And I think the ID just traded better, focus fired better. The fact that Feast was busy with 3 tanks taking out that one mouse, I think it just took too long. They were too removed from the rest of the team. If it had been mouse versus mouse, it could have been quite different. So now we have little over 1 minute left to go. ID is completely readied up with 3 IS-4s, an E3, a mouse and 2 E50Ms. They're going for the Ram Panzers. And on the other side we see the 215B again, an STB, a T62A, another 215B, an IS-4, an IS-7, and now a mouse. And we see still some tanks being changed. We have 45 seconds left to go. They are not entirely certain, or maybe they're just changing ammunition or camouflage or something like that. Maybe some equipment. And we just have to wait. Half a minute left to go. And then we get to go into the battle and see what they do. This is not the time to be switching tanks, but he does. So now we have 2 IS-7s, 3 IS-7s even, 1 IS-4, a 215B, a T62A, and a mouse. And with 15 seconds left to go, I'm hoping they won't change this. But this is the tiebreaker for both and for the tournament itself, because these teams are both competing for the 4th place. So here we go. Sugu lost his avatar. Just noticing that. And up and away. Let's see what they do. We have the E50M is gonna go for base C, whereas the T62A is quickly abandoning that, which is a good call because you know those 2 E50Ms will be there. We have Feast making a push through the city. They are completely ignoring base B, and that means that those that are going here for Feast are in a bit of a pickle now, because they will not be expecting a full rush, especially with the 2 heavies that are gonna go into the hills. We have the mouse that is looking the other way, expecting some other opposition. We have some shots going on, and now Feast has to regroup very quickly if they want to survive this. But this is a brilliant move from ID. I don't think anyone expected that, definitely not Feast. And it will be all about the focus fire, but this will be very difficult for them to survive indeed. We have Sleeping Lion that is being completely obliterated. Feast now arriving, but they already lost a teammate, and that mouse is not going to be far behind. T62A is being taken care of by the 2 E50Ms. But the mouse is going to be gone as well, and now Feast is 2 guns down, and it is not really looking good for Feast. They're also capping base A. And that means that they will have a definite advantage. But they are in a pretty bad position holding here. But HP-wise, Feast does not have the advantage. Gun-wise, they don't have the advantage. We have the IS-4 that is getting some shots in. IS-7 is nearly dead now. But it will be difficult for Feast to make this work. We have now the Sugu that is being focused. That shot did not hit the target where it should have. And there goes the E50M, and now Feast has lost another gun, and this is looking to go all in ID's favor. Kampon is now going to be dead. But YOLO Kitty is also gone, and it is 2 versus 5. One of them is an A3 without a turret. And this is not looking good for Feast. This is definitely an ID game, which means that ID also gets the point. There goes the E3, and now only Maddox is still there, facing 4 on his own. Again, epic Kolobanov situation, but I have a feeling that he probably won't be able to do that. He is now being sandwiched, held in place by the enemy. And I'm AFK, kills him off. And that is the end of these games. And the point is for ID. What a way to regroup and get back. That aggressive push was definitely not something that Feast expected, and the fact that their heavies were so far away, along with their meds, is what cost them the game. They lost too much HP by losing Sleeping Lion and the Mouse. So that is the first matchup of today over, and in a little over half an hour we get to see Feast take on Noob on Rockfield, Canyon and Canal. I'll take you over those maps when we get closer to the actual thing, and then we will see how that goes. But first I'm gonna show you some replays, and let's see what I have in store for you. I have one really nice one that I'm gonna start with. After that I'll look at the points. I don't think every match will be over yet, so I'm not gonna do that yet. This is from one of the top 8 clans in EU, easy. And I'm not entirely sure how this battle will go, but he does some really epic damage, so I can't wait to see. But what a matchup that was. I hope you guys enjoyed that. To be honest, I understand that... Righto. I understand that it is not fun for the clans that are competing for 4th place, but for us, it makes the tournament more interesting because it can go every which way. I love this camo, by the way. It looks good on almost every tank. Now he's in a nice position over there. Getting some nice bit of damage, but also taking some damage. And a nice bounce. Nice. He's pulling back a little bit, even though he doesn't really need to. They are missing a few enemies, but they know that there are 4 there. And another nice shot. This is a tank I still don't know whether or not I want it. It does not really fit my playstyle, but it is doing quite well in battles and everything. And then you get this battle and then you understand fully what I mean. There goes the Tiger P. Our guy is still reloading, but with his friend next to him now gone. That's not actually, it's the Tiger P that took the kill. My bad. He got some nice bounces though, but he will be primary target now. And that is something that I generally don't like being. Nice shot into the KV3 there. LTTB taking quite some damage there. I think that he does move in quite late, to be honest, as far as reloading is, because if you're not getting damaged and you're not really getting shot, you don't need to wait until you're almost completely reloaded. You can use those precious seconds to just aim. He does make a kill now though, but now his team has already lost 2 tanks and the enemy has only lost a KV3. So this can go either which way. We have the IS-7 there, we have the AMX that is now in a lot of trouble. Nice. The fact that it was already tracked, that definitely helped. And he is basically looking around. What is his teammate doing? T49 is almost dead. IS-4, sorry. IS-6. Seriously, that was a nice ammo rack though. You have to forgive me. I have all the tier 10 tanks in my head now. But now he's already done 3.2k damage. And there we go, 3.6. Going up quite nicely. And he is pulling back wisely, even though that means that he might not be able to get a shot in. He has plenty of HP, so he doesn't need to leave it for that. Nice, we're now past the 4K border. And his teammate is now capping the base to troll, probably. Comet there, nice bounce, but he kills off the Comet. T49 now in a bit of a nasty position. Tiger B still having quite a bit of health. AMX almost lost his health. Ooh, that bounce though. Not sure why he went down like that. Let's see if he can kill off that AMX. Now he can. Nice little sneaky shot. Tiger P now going down. He is going to take a little bit of damage for this, I think. There we go. And now there's only one guy left and he already did 4.9k damage. Wow. Nice. Not the 6th kill. That is sad. Basically stolen. But 5.2k damage is definitely epic in tier 8. So very nicely done. Nice battle. 1460 base XP. Wow. That is something I would be very proud of to have in tier 10, let alone in tier 8. So let's see how everyone is doing, what the current score is. TBT won, not surprised. TNM won, not surprised there either. 101st seems to have lost. They were against TNM, so that makes sense. Noob got a point. So they won. Versus Low. And ID won versus Feast. So this is the current score. This is the score that we go through with to the second round. And based on this, like I said, TBT is pretty much definitely through. TNM very likely to as well. 101st pretty likely as well. Better for the 4th place keeps going. And for the second round we don't have anything yet. So that is the score for the Asia server, and now we have some more replays to show you, because basically you don't want to see me play PC, especially not on a server where I have completely horrid ping. That is not something I want to do for to any of you. So let's see what I've got for you. Just scrolling through the amount of replays that I've gotten. Yeah, let's go for this one. Basically, I quite like this because I will just be like showing you games that have been sent to me that I won't be using as sub replays, but in this case I do get to showcase them a little bit. And for killing times like this, it is just excellent. Because you get to see proper gameplay, I get to babble a little bit more, and we get to basically not be bored altogether. This was weird, but okay. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. And he's going up a little bit towards the middle, taking a spotting position. I generally don't like this position because I found that generally I got shot a lot. That was a bit too hasty a shot. He did not get spotted though, and with that he is very lucky. Especially with the Jaeger that is now holding back, probably expecting someone. I7 is in a... is going for a similar position. Jaeger is now pulling back a little bit, but most of the team seems to be focused around base, where a base A would be in Supremacy. He is relocating. Not sure how this will go, because I feel that he's losing a lot of time and potential damage. He did get spotted now. That E1 is not doing all that well. Black Eagle just died. Honestly, I like showing you the replays that I get from tier 10 aces in mediums the most, because generally they are not staying back. Nice little bounce there. E1 is waiting for that little peekaboo that we know is going to happen at some point. Sue missing a vital shot there. Might get him killed. Nice. Pretty low HP tanks around him though, so he has to be careful. There we go. Diaz now bumping his way in. He probably wants that grill, and I can fully understand that because grills are very fun to shoot. Nice high roll as well. This tank is so troll. Can't believe that E1 is still alive, to be honest. That is just pretty good. Not sure why he took that shot. When he's not aiming at anything all that juicy, especially at this angle. Ooh, he does manage to pen though. Grill is now dead. Nice little shot there. Motion now dead, but the Jaeger coming up behind. You do not want to get shot by a Jaeger. You'd rather get shot by a VK. Both tanks are pretty hard to take out. Let the circle of death commence. He's lost quite some HP though. That VK is not going to be happy losing that much HP in that little time. Even if he bounces now, if he makes the damage now, he's not going to survive that. 4k damage, 2 TDs left, and they are both on the other side. 193 is not going to survive that. Nice little shot by his teammate there as well. I do love me a Jaeger. That was my first tier 10, the Jaeger. Excellent tank. The sound of the gun is just massive and awesome. Jaeger being spotted, but also is our friend. There's the 704 that we were waiting for, but the corpse is just not positioned right for that shot to be taken. Now it is, but he does lose a little bit more HP in getting that shot. He needs to be careful with the way he positions himself now. Jaeger is unspotted, so anything can happen. Object is trying to side scrape, but side scraping in the TD is not always easy and can make you lose quite a bit of HP. Nice high roll there, and that is using the corpse well. Now we have the Jaeger going in, and our guy switches to heat right away, which I think is a very good call. Because, well, you don't want to bother trying to shoot a Jaeger if you can't pen. But those bounces, though. Shoot the cupola. Shoot the cupola. Nice. No idea how that penned. 5.8k damage. They are in a bit of a pinch. They have 1.5 minutes left to go, so they have to be careful. That corpse is providing, well, very much cover, and cover that they really need. Now he has only 2 heat shells left, so that is tricky. Now he only has 1. By this time I would have so relocated to that little thing, the stone column basically. They need to get one of them out of the way, and he will have to take a shot probably to do so. He is losing a little bit of life, but he can take this. He just has to be careful. Jäger now pushing in, probably wanting a bite. That tracking shot though, very nicely done. He might still die. He is very HE-able. This is excellent. That is how you use a corpse. Absolutely lovely. Well-deserved ace. Lovely gameplay. I like the way you used the corpses. That was awesome. So we still have 20 minutes left to go, so that leaves time for another few replays. Well, I'm gonna show you this one, because this is actually in the store right now. And I can talk about that, and whether or not I think you should get it or not. My honest opinion, never get a tank. Unless you think that it really fits your playstyle. In the beginning of this game, I bought a lot of prems based on the fact that they were prems and they looked fun, and I just wanted to have like a complete collection. I've since stopped doing that, mainly because it is very useless, and I find that I don't play these tanks enough to make it worth it, really. But I did get this one for free with the first event that we had, and that made it quite fun. Because free tanks are awesome. And this tank, I quite like it. It's relatively mobile. It does pack a massive wallop. I like the very low profile that it has. It is a tank that I think is quite fun. Dynamic technician. Last I checked, yes, I am a girl. And I'll just check now. Yeah, still am. Meanwhile, we have Irma chattering away about tanks and stuff. He writes this lovely blog that is just great fun, and he calls it tank philosophy, and that's basically what he does. And it's definitely worth a read. So I can definitely advise you to have a gander and go look at his entries. See, this is so much damage to do in this tier with one gun. FCM just got slaughtered. And now the IS-8 is a one-shot for our friend. There he goes. This is something so funny. People get so salty when they get killed in the battle. And it's just so absolutely useless. Why would you get mad at getting killed? Oh my god, he's not AFK. You're over-angled a little bit when you peek out like that, but okay. Nice fire. Ooh, Sue. That is very painful. I like the Sue. It was my second tier 8 tank. There we go. Tiger 2 out of the way. Sue pulling back. It is now 4 versus 3. And they're not really moving all that much. 2.5k damage done. Sue has been spotted. He's just gonna let the T-34 take that shot. And the T-34 very happily obliges. That is a raiding camo to have on the Isu. So we have the FCM and the T-49 at the back there. And he does not have all that much HP. But with the gun that he has, he can do quite a bit of damage. This is coming from Ahmed himself, by the way. The FCM is very, very salty. This is very clever. I like it when people take into account where people will have to be in order to do something, and they are blonde enough to do that. Load HE. Nope. That is one happy T49. But yeah, you see, this gun can be quite troll. But it is a very lovely tank. And it has such a nice big punch that it packs. I quite like that. And I like the whole anticipating thing that it does. Very nicely played by the Bear Nose, exactly when they hit 1k points. 4.6k damage, very nice. And I think quite a bit of supremacy points as well. 795 supremacy points, 5 kills, 4.6k. This is like I pwned the battle kind of game for him. That was awesome. So we still have about 15 minutes left to go. The waiting time. Normally now the next game would start, but it is a little bit longer than that, and that has everything to do with the fact that the second round will begin. In the meantime, I am getting tagged on Discord, and that always makes me worry a little bit. Because I always wonder what went down if something is going on. But nothing is going on, just some sweet messages. Let's see what else I have. Yeah, this is also in the store. And I actually hate it because it's in crates. And I really want it, but it is in crates. But I think it's only fair that I show this because, well, it's made by Maddox and Huff, who are both in the team that we are following currently. I do want this tank, but I don't want the whole crate thing. I hate the crate thing. Especially when they don't even cost more gold, but they cost money. E50M going up. AMX 30B over there. No idea what's being said. That is a bit out of context for us. I think because they're on voice and Huff is probably muted. Nice. Cheeky shot there. Almost ammo racked and mouse. That's nice. See, I really like this tank. It's not OP, it's just really good fun. But oh my god, crates. I'm just seeing the question in the chat about my singing. No, I'm not singing on official wargaming streams. I will happily sing for you in pretty much every other stream that I do, but not on wargaming streams. Call me a bit self-conscious. Meanwhile, this is actually, though he's doing quite well, it is a little bit boring gameplay, to be honest. He's basically camping. Not really making a move, not really doing much of anything. Don't get me wrong, he's being good and he's doing good stuff. But it's a bit boring. Ooh, if he had aimed for that lower plate, that would have penned. The IS-7 is basically now completely lost. He's not going to survive this. We have the Moiskin that is relocating but angled in a way that he can't be shot. Nice little shot on the IS-7 there. Maddox has 76 HP left, so he's not going to survive for much longer. Even a ram is going to kill him. And we see just that. And now it's 6 versus 4. And another AMX 30B. That tank looks so good. If the Jaeger that is moving in with surviving with barely any HP. Nice little kill there. 5.5k damage. He did farm a lot of damage so far already. That bounce though. I think if he hadn't gone out of sniper mode and therefore aimed a bit more properly, he would have gotten that. Now he has to be careful. How? Oh, the HE, of course. I was wondering how the hell did that pan, but okay. Nice kill. Now we have the other AMX 30B that is coming up. Well, not really behind him. But I think he wants the IS-8 out of the way. There we go. With the Moiskin, the mouse, and the AMX 30B. Again, a nice shot. We are now 6.2k damage. I think he's gonna go after the AMX first, which I think is a good call. He has to be careful that the mouse doesn't shoot him as well. As long as he doesn't do that, he will be fine. Now there's only the mouse left, 7.1k damage. And there goes the mouse. 3 kills, 7.5k. Epic damage, very well done. Oof, indeed. Not all. Ooh, look at the basic speed. What the hell? That's awesome. Not too much interesting gameplay because he basically stayed on that bridge just shooting this way and that very much. But it was a very impressive battle. And oh my god, that just makes me want to tank even more. But crates, why? It's not fair. So let's see how long we have left. 7 minutes. So that is 3 minutes before we get the room invite. I do have one little replay that I can show you because it's very short. Let me just quickly find it. It would help if I could find him, but you changed their avatar recently and so I don't recognize it. It is a very short game. It is a very funny game. And it is done by our beloved Rolling Swarm, which has also been streaming these tournaments with me. And definitely check his channel out, subscribe to him. He does epic stuff on competitive gameplay. He's an epic player in himself. And I really like the way that he commentates as well. Even though I hate watching YouTube, I do at times watch him. Because of the fact that he mainly sees similar things to what I do. He commentates slightly differently. He knows more about the tanks numbers wise. And he knows more about the players behind that. I don't do that. I mainly do the tactics stuff. And he's an overall great guy. So definitely check him out. Look him up on YouTube. Subscribe. He is nearing 2k subs. And we are hoping to get him there before the end of the whole spring season. So definitely help me with that. Get him there. He definitely deserves it. He is in an E100 right now, obviously, stalwart. I do like the black color, I don't like the camo march. First shot, nice, 711 damage. Mines makes for pretty difficult gameplay. He is losing a little bit of HP there before he gets behind the rock. Nice bounce there. And there goes the E50M. He did take damage from that, but he didn't let it keep him from killing him. And now he's just moving, and I think he wants that chieftain. There goes the chieftain. He does take shots for every kill that he makes, basically, but I like that he knows that there's a guy there. He also knows that he can't really do all that much with it, and it's probably better for him to focus on the guys here. And there we go, nice. We are 1.5 minutes into the game. We have the object 263 here. And now this is the prime moment of this replay. This is why I really wanted to show you it and why I'm glad I got this. Look at this. He dies, but he still kills the IS-4 by crushing it. And now we only have the FV left, and he's not gonna survive for much longer. There he goes, and that is the end of the match, with some very epic, really silly moments. And yeah, like I said, it just deserves to be shown. Still, 4.5k damage is still a lot of damage, but that did help with the ammo rack and crushing the IS-4. So we have a room. I'm gonna go there quickly. We still have nearly 4 minutes left, so that is fine. But I wanted to show you that. So we have Feast already completely readied up for Rockfield with 4 IS-4s, a mouse, a 268 and a 140. I'm gonna quickly go to Rockfield. Rockfield looks like this. It is interesting. There's a dip in the middle where B is high rise with the ridge at base C and base A with the bunker, and there are basically positions to cap all bases in without getting absolutely slaughtered. But base B is definitely way more open and more difficult to get to. Personally, depending on what tank I drive, well, no, actually, in Supremacy, I always prefer to go base A because the positioning around that is much better than at base C, and you can cap base A relatively safely. Now, after that, we get, let's see, Canyon. I'm going to quickly call that up as well. Canyon looks like this. We have base B in the middle on top of a little hill thing. Basically, if you go to cap that and you're spotted, you're dead. You have base C, which is not where it is supposed to be because it's more to the corner. But it has lines of fire into both spawns and at base B. I quite like going there. And you have base A with a lot of buildings, which makes it a little bit of a cheeky way base to cap. You can get decap there quite easily depending on where enemy tanks are, but those buildings do offer a lot of support and cover. And this map, more than most, is dependent on where your team is to support you, whether or not you do well. I generally always prefer to go towards base B and use that as a spotting and sneaky peekaboom kind of thing. But yeah, team games like this, anything can go. And after that we get one of my favorite maps, which is Canal. Canal looks like this. You have base D on the lower right side, base B and C close to the relative spawns, and base A in the camping corner with the ridges where people like to camp and the corner where people like to camp. There's a lot of camping positions actually, because there's also camping positions around the spawns. What people generally do is that they go for this base closest to their spawn, and then they either pick A or D depending on lineup and depending on enemy lineup. For me, I like the positioning around D a lot better, so I would generally go towards base D and work from there, see where I am needed, see where I need to go. But again, team games, anything can happen. They can do pretty much anything. I've seen some really effective gameplay by people just pushing straight through the to the base nearest the spawn of the enemy and then just holding. It is a difficult map because it's very large. That makes it one of my preferred maps, but I understand that does not always make it easy to deduce tactics for it, and that has everything to do with the fact that you have the size and you have to cover way more positions with the same amount of tanks that you do in other maps. So that is it. I'm gonna take away the map so that we don't miss out on actual gameplay. Always making sure, double check that it's not on the screen. We have new with 2 mouse, 3 IS-4s, a 140 and a 268. That is exactly the same lineup as we see on the other side. No, actually, no. Noob has a mouse more. And let's see what the difference is. That IS4, no, they have an IS4. Feast has an IS4 more, but that is pretty much the same lineup, and that makes it definitely interesting. So here we go. So free camera and up and away. We see Noob going towards base C and base B. I think that is a nice trick with the mouse going to, well, with the mice I should say, going towards base B, because that would be difficult to decap, but at the same time it will be very hard to take those mice anywhere else after that. We have the 268 overlooking towards base C but not actually doing it. We have Feast going towards base A. We see some shots going into the mice there, but it is not going to cost them all that much. And now Feast is capping base A. We have the mouse in base B, but he did lose a little bit of HP. We have Alpha moving in with his mouse, but there is another mouse there. They know about that though. And now Noob is capping base B. We have the mouse in base B being sadly slowed. This is exactly what I mean. If you get caught there and you do not cap it fast enough, this happens. And you now have 13 HP left. Sugi is gonna kill him off, I think. There we go. And even though Alpha lost quite a bit of HP, they still have all guns intact. And they have a point advantage of about 100 points now. We see some shots being taken into the IS4s there. I'm gonna take you over to the other side so that we can have a more overall look at where everyone is and what they're doing. We have the 268 here. This is one of the positions where the 140 is now, is one of the positions I really hate, because basically every shot you want to take you have to peek over, and that shows you shows your basically everything of your tank. That is usually way too much. And basically all Feast has to do is hold. They have 100 points advantage, which means that Noob has to kill about 3 tanks in order to get that down and take the lead back. So Feast can afford to... Ooh, that object 140 is not going to be happy with that. Feast can afford to just hold and wait for Noob to make the move. They are positioned in pretty much the high ground. The only ones that are at risk here are the IS4 and the mouse, but they are in positions where they can support each other, and they have a 268 behind them. The other one in precarious position is Maddox, but he is there to spot anyone going for them. And as long as he is careful, he will not get shot there, because he can be in a pretty nice hold down position. He's just making sure that no one is coming up behind them. And the pressure is definitely on Noob for this one. Points are steadily going up, HP being lost a little bit all around. We have a YOLOer that has been spotted, but he manages to survive without getting shot. They are wanting to know if they can cap base B, but I would not advise that, because I'm pretty sure that anyone doing that will be obliterated again. And now Maddox is losing a bit of HP. The IS4 is trying to use the corpse to get the base, but he's still getting shot. Sugi is in a pretty good position to slaughter him right now, and they are waiting for Sugi to show himself. They are not capping the base, but they are losing HP trying to not cap the base. We have Sleeping Lion moving in. Shots going in all around. King Ku losing a lot of HP with that not successful move. And now the pressure is definitely on. Ooh, that was some big hit. Frost taking another shot at the IS4. He is in the precarious. He's being too forwards there, but he can afford it, because he does have the HP. And now we have the 268 that is moving in. Sugi losing a bit of HP. We see some action going here. Not a ram kill. But there goes Kinku. There goes Lolicon. And now the Object 140 is gonna die, I think. Maybe not. He survives. Now we have the mouse. Maddox did just die though. But the mouse is now gone. And now we only have the 268 and the 140 at the back here. and we're at 980 points. This is definitely going in for Feast, because there is no way they're giving this away. They're just farming some damage now, see if they can get some more damage done, but the battle is already finished. And the first match is for Feast. Nice game there. I think Noob left it too late and they lost way too much HP trying to get base B both times. So that is not something that I can advise people to do. You want to keep the base and preserve your HP, and otherwise you want to just dominate the base and not get the base. Because in this case they were just too forwards, too aggressive, and it cost them very, very dearly. So we have little over 1 minute left to go. Noob is still looking at their lineup a little bit, so is Feast. But on Feast side we now see 2 mice, 3 object 140s, a Batchat, and potentially a 268. So that is a little bit of heavy armor and a lot of speed. So that could be fun to see. We might be seeing quite an epic rush here. And on the other side we see IS-4 galore with 4 IS-4s. Well, 3 now, but okay. 3 IS-4s, 2 mice, an object 140 and a 268. So that is a bit more armor, because now Feast is taking no IS-4s whatsoever. And I'm very curious to see what they will do with this lineup, because with that speed you could do an epic rush. But then you have the 2 mice, and that will make it a little bit different, more difficult, I suppose. So let's see. Ooh, ready up, guys. You don't want to miss out going into this battle. No pressure. In the meantime, I'm seeing a lot of talk about hair in the chat, and it is cracking me up. Okay, let's go up and away, and let's see what they do. We have Feast going primarily towards a bit of middle and a lot of base C. And we have Noob going towards base C altogether again. That might be interesting to see. We have the Batchat that is going to go and grab base A, I believe, especially now that the enemy team is being spotted, so they know where they are, which means that I have a free 8 cap, and they probably will be able to cap it a lot faster than Noob will be able to grab any base. And then they will have the point advantage, they will have a base advantage, and they could potentially grab base B now as well. But it will be difficult with that object 268 there, Yakuza, which is the Japanese mafia, I know, from reading manga and watching anime. And we have Noob making a little bit of a push here. They are grabbing base C. And we have Feast that is just pulling back towards base A. And now the 268 is making a little bit of a move. And we have Maddox not yet going in for base B. I would have expected him to do that, because right now they get a free cap doing that. The 140 is there together with the IS-4. And the object 140 has been spotted now. Mouse has been spotted. Object 140 is taking a nice position. He's going to go back towards, well, towards the red spawn, I think, to see what he can do from there. Still no base B being taken just yet. Feast having some nice holding positions. Not that much point of disadvantage for Noob this time around. So it can go either way. And now Maddox is going in, or maybe not. He is retreating again. Not losing any HP for that, mainly because the 268 hit the sand instead of him. We have the 140 that is joining the mouse. And we see Noob putting back together. They are gonna make a push. And they're gonna make a push towards base A. And I think that object 140 will have to wait for them to do that. And the Batchat might be in a bit of trouble. He is getting a little bit of shots in. Overall, this is going up pretty evenly, but the Batchat, if he gets destroyed, might cost them the point that might cost Feast the point advantage, that is. Batchet is getting absolutely hammered. He is going around the base. We see now Feast moving around base C, going to go after that 268. That 268 will take a nice shot into Suga, I think. Or not. He dies before he can do that. And now Noob pushed for base A, but they didn't really push for it. They just stayed for it. And we have Feast now grabbing base B and base C. So a push that did not work out the way they intended actually cost them a base. And Feast will have 2 bases now. And it split them up so much. We have the mouse coming in now. Maddox taking a little bit of damage. But Noob has to make a very drastic move if they want to finish this. We have the mouse here losing HP. Maddox bleeding HP right now. He's gonna die soon. IS-4 tracking himself did not help. We have Magician that is trying to help Maddox. Kutuzov just died, but so does Maddox. Now we have mouse versus mouse. And we have the Namhoi. Namhui? I don't know. That is getting... Basically now the mouse is blocking shots from his teammates. I understand that because he's trying to angle against the other mouse. But it is costing his teammates shots and damage. This could potentially still go either way. Especially now that the mouse is properly being focused. And he is not going to survive for much longer. We have the Object 140 coming up behind though. And there goes Magician. But the Object 140 is losing quite a bit of HP. The Batchet is almost dead now, so he's probably... the next shot is going to kill him. But he pulls back before that happens. We have the Object 140 coming in, going after the other Object 140. But bouncing, and that can be very costly at this stage. Ooh, Sugu nearly dying. But Sugu is still alive somehow. And now there are 3 tanks left. We have the 2-6 in, going in. Ramming a mouse. What is it with ramming mice? Seriously, Feast? What is up with you? But that one went for Feast as well. And now we get to go to Canyon. Hang on, I just see something very epic in the chat that I need to screenshot for Darren. Because he will want to see this. So I'm saving this to show him later. Basically, someone just said, Meatsy69 is playing a belly dance video on YouTube to make more money. Okay, so we have 1 minute and around 15 seconds left to go. We have Feast completely rated up in 4 IS-4s. A 113, an E3 and a Batchet. And on the other side we see pretty much, well, not similar, but well, sort of similar, with a lot of IS-4s and potentially a few mice. There we go. We have 4 IS-4s, a mouse, an Object 140 and a Leo. Leo is a tricky tank to play on this map, I think, because even if you use it at base B and it does have the laser accuracy, anything that hits you in the turret will pen you. So that is not something I would pick, but I have seen it before, and that laser accuracy can work out really well. So in half a minute we get to go. We get to see the 3rd match of this lineup, and basically, as I said before, now the pressure is on Noob. They have to win every single match from now on, and basically Feast only has to win 1 in 3 games to make this work. Six seconds left to go. Let's see what happens. Oh, I like this camo. Looks nice. So up and away. We have Noob focusing primarily on base C, but sending the Object 140 to base B. And we have Feast doing sort of a similar thing, mainly focusing on base B and a little bit at base B. We're gonna have some IS-4 Object 140 action here. Blind shot being taken, but no one is there. Shots being fired, but not penning. And the Batchet is now running off. Noob is gonna grab base C. And I'm not sure why Feast just hangs out here in the middle. Frost is losing a little bit of HP. Getting to base A. Lolicon and Phoenix moving more to the middle. Frost safely capping base A now. So they will both have a base, but Noob has a slight point advantage. Not much going on just yet. Some shots. But not all. Seriously, not all much is happening now. Both teams have a base. Both teams is not capable of capping base B at this time. We have the Batchet that is going to face off against an IS-4 there at the back. We see Meadows peekabooming a little bit here. Alpha looking out for the back. Because if they push here, Maddox will be in trouble. Lolicon steadily losing HP. Getting shot from everywhere. Lolicon is in trouble. Now Feast is capping base B, and that I think is a very bad move because you know that there are tanks there that will shoot you. Lolicon still alive. Lolicon not happy. There goes Lolicon. And Feast is still attempting to cap base B. Not anymore now though. Sleeping Lion is pushing on, wanting to shoot the Object 140. Batchet is losing a lot of HP, but he's still alive. Object 140 is staying there. There goes the Batchet. Nice little cheeky shot. Look at where he died. That was mid-run. Now the 113 is getting focused and rushed, which I think is a good call by Noob because they have no choice. He is losing a lot of HP here. Frost is in definite trouble. But Noob is too spread out. And the way that Frost is now positioned makes it hard. We have a lot of action going on. On the other side we have action going on over here. There goes Frost. We have Sleeping Lion facing off against an IS-4 and a Mouse. Sugu going to help against Namhui. There goes Namhui. Feast not capping, no actually it's Noob not capping base C, but they have taken base A, and it's now it's for 4 versus, okay, now it's 4 versus 3 for Feast. And the IS-4 Alpha is pretty safe there. We have the Mouse that has the most HP left of the enemy team. And he is getting shot in the rear, well not in front actually, by the Object 140 there. So they have to be careful. He is showing his rear to the Mouse now, and there goes Sleeping Lion. He has no choice, but that could have gone better. And they are facing off there against the Mouse, but the Mouse is steadily aiding away the IS-4 health. Feast grab the base, but they have the point advantage. They will need to grab base A as well if they want to make this work. But that will be difficult. We have the E3 that has to make a move. He has to take base B. And he has to get the kills. Let's see if he can do that. He is in a very precarious position because he has to get the base. But it's not entirely certain if that will be in time. Because the Mouse is still alive. And as long as they live, this game might be for Noob. That was not so good a move of the IS-4 though. But all the same, if they kill that Mouse, Feast will probably have it. If they don't, now they have it because they have the 2 bases. And now it's just poor Phoenix left alone. And he has not much of a chance to survive this. And I don't think he will be able to cap a base. He is trying to keep them from getting points, and that I think is a good call. And if he manages to get this, then definitely... But he doesn't. He dies. And the game is Feast. Nicely played. I think if the IS-4 had not pushed across the water like that, trying to help the mouse, it would have been different. But because of that, they lost their edge. And Noob lost. And that is it for tonight. Let's see what the score is. If we know all the scores yet, we should see 4 points on the second roster. This is the first... Oh, we actually have 1 point. Well, now Feast has a point as well. But that means that there are still matches going on. Let's see if we know yet. Where's his ID? Okay, I'm gonna play you one more replay. And then we're gonna check the score. And then that will be it for right now. Let's see what I have for you. Yeah, let's go for this. I quite like the funny troll names that we see. He has a lot of spider webs on his tank. He should really clean it. Luckily this guy says AB, but I like that there's a lot of people actually in randoms that go like, all right please, or all left please, and it's supremacy. And I'm like, don't call left or right when it's supremacy, because it's about the bases, not just about direction. So I like it when someone actually calls a base, even if I disagree. And the way that this guy is going, he might be in a lot of trouble, because he does not have much support. And he is on a tank that can be just very... can be very painful because it has no armor. But you can use the sand dunes like this guy is doing, and then it's not all that bad. Nice little shot straight in the face. You knew that that was not gonna pen, yet you still fired. There you go. That's better. This is something that I would dislike about this tank. No proper premo. You have the hash, but it's no premo. And when you face tanks like the E100 or the mouse or something such, that is not something that I would prefer. I like hash, don't get me wrong. Nice bounce though. There we go. Nice bounce again. That is quite evil. This is such a lightly armored tank. How is he getting bounces? T-54 running away. RFV following suit. Is he gonna get another shot in? Yep, he is. His team does have... Oh, there he goes. Nope, denied. We have one full HP T-57 heavy. There's a building there. You can't really shoot them like that though. There you go. Ooh, that's nice. He's in a bit of a precarious position right now though. He does not have that many teammates left. And I like that he's going after the E100 because he kinda has to. But now he's changing position and bouncing on the TV. That bounce though. Seriously, you're in a British tank. How do you bounce anything? $4.3k damage so far. Ooh. Well, actually, no, I'll focus on this first and then I was just gonna say, don't shoot an E100 with HE, please. We have an IS-7 left. Ooh, that bounced though. I like hash, but I don't like hash like this. Nice tracking shot. 5k damage, 3 kills so far. And there he goes. To answer your question, for the EU you have... Actually, I'll check the schedule. I'll show you these battle results first. Nice, this. Second class only, but that's quite a bit of that. He was camping at the back, I think, a little bit. But nicely done. So let me check my streamer schedule real quick. Because I has that. Tonight is the 13th. You should get streams tonight by me. I will be following R2K. And I'll show you what rounds I have in a little bit. We should potentially have a Martin Dogger stream. We will have a Rip stream, which is in German. And he's following Raid. And then we have Brian, Rolling Swarm, that will also be streaming. And to give you a definite lineup for tonight, waiting for it to load. I will be streaming R2K versus First. And after that I will be streaming Souls versus R2K. We have Rip that will be streaming Raid versus Win and Raid versus First. And we have Brian streaming Eros versus Extremely Hapki. And the same thing, they are against Hapki twice in a row because we switch rounds, just like on Asia server. We first have the last battle of the first round and then we have the first battle of the second round. So those should all be fun. Mind you that if you watch through the portal and you want to get coins, if you watch all the streams available there, that means that you get many more coins. So that is just a little hack that I'm giving you. But basically, let me go check the lineup. No, I use the banner because I have just one screen, so I can't full screen anything. And I have to have the screen at a certain position so that I can watch other things going on my laptop. So that's not possible for me, sorry. Let me check real quick what the current stance is for the second round. Still going on? Let me see. Yeah, still going on. That is weird. Unless they're in the fifth game. And let's see what else are we missing. XR got a point. So XR is a point. We are... let me see. I'm so bad at this stuff. Yeah, this is the lineup that we're missing. We're missing ID versus low. That is still going on. I'll wait a few more minutes before I actually close the screen because 1, you get more coins, and B, I want to know what happens and I want to say it on stream when we know what to do. So basically that will be it for tonight. Well, for today. I'm gonna look at Discord real quick to see if I have any more nice replays for you, but I'm not gonna bother with that, I think, because it should only be a few minutes before we know the score. But after this, like I said, I will be back at 8 PM CEST, which is in 5.5 hours to stream EU. And after that we still have NA, and then tomorrow we have Feast again, and in the evening we have EU again. But yeah, you can only watch coins through for all of that if it is on your server. Basically, Asia can earn coins for the Asia server, EU for EU, and NA for NA. That makes sense, but not everybody gets it. But basically, you have to have accounts on the different servers to get coins for all of it. But that is basically it. Let me check if we have a result yet. There we go. XR updated. Low, we still don't know. Dun 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 dun. We still don't know. That has to be a 3-2 for one of them. The question is who? So we are just waiting a little bit longer, and not much to talk about, to be honest, but overall it has been such a fun tournament already. Last Thursday I had matches that were just so epic. I had RTK versus Raid, followed by RTK versus Eros, and those were matches that would have been worthy of the finals in the EU server, in my opinion. They were just epic, so much fun to watch, so much fun to commentate on, and I think that they were nerve-wracking for the players, but I was already nerve-wracked with my heart beating in my throat and everything. It was just so exciting. I think that it will be very difficult for me to see things the rest of this tournament that will top that evening. Let me check if we know. Yeah, it says it updates every 5 minutes, but I just hope that it updates a little bit sooner so that we know. Come on. Nope, still no results. But if we count, I'm gonna grab my calculator because I'm can't brain these days. Accessories, where are you? I seriously, since I got Windows 10, I can't really find anything anymore. It's annoying. And now my laptop is being silly by not opening the program that I wanted to show. There we go, we have a calculator. So we have 7 minutes for 5 matches, which is 35 minutes. So they could technically still be in, but it's not likely that every match would last 7 minutes. Then we have 3 times 2 minutes, which is 41 minutes in total, and we have the... No, that actually before. So in approximately 9 minutes at the very max, and that is assuming that every battle ended in a draw, we will have a result. Let me see if we have one just yet. It doesn't show here yet, but it also doesn't always show the points right away. Loading. It does help if you load. Still nada. This is annoying. I want to see what happens. I do have an epic replay, but I'm not going to show you that just yet because that would take way too much time, and honestly, I still need to do stuff today. In between the streams and everything. Come on. Show me. I'm just going to click back and forth like repeatedly, hoping for a result. But those have to be some very exciting matches if it takes this long. Definitely something either team probably thought would happen. In the meantime, we can look at my garage. See my pre-tier 1 tank. That shouldn't be a tier 1 tank because I missed the old tier 1s and they were so much more fun. And we are just waiting. In the meantime, Oops, I Killed You just came into the chat, and hopefully I hope that he saw me playing his replay, because that was fun. Come on, show me the results. Those must have been some really epic long games, because even with the 5-minute waiting time before this thing's update, it should have gone. There we go, low won from ID, so that means that low has a point here. So we have basically the top 4 as you see it right now all have 1 point for the second round. And hang on, that means that TBT lost. I just realized. Woof. Okay, did not see that coming. Okay, they've been ponying everything since until now. So that means that TBT is 7 points, TMN has 5, then we have 101st with 4, Noob with 3, ID with 3, Low with 3, and Feast with 3. So basically, anything can happen on the Asia server still. Interesting stuffs. So that is it for tonight for you, Asia. I will be back in, like I said, 5.5 hours thereabouts to stream the EU server. And later on for NA. And tomorrow I will be back to stream Asia again. And then later on EU again. Lots of streams this weekend, but I absolutely love doing this. So that is no punishment for me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all teams that participated tonight for the beautiful gameplay that I got to show. And that I got to commentate on. And I'll be seeing you guys next stream, hopefully. Good night. Well, good day, depending on where you are. But for Asia, it will be good night. Bye-bye.